Good afternoon, y'all. My name's Joe. Welcome back to Z Fighter Performance Garage. On today's vlog, we're going to be diving back into our 2000 Dodge Viper build. Last episode, we were able to install our new fuel pump. We were able to get it primed. It did work. We had the car running for about 20-30 seconds, but then it did something weird. It cut off, which after doing some research, more than likely the anti-theft system is in play right now. We need to figure out how to reset our alarm system on our Viper, because what it's doing is basically it's got a fuel cutoff when somebody tries and tamper with the car or steal the car. So we're going to try and use the factory reset keyhole that is in our center console. Take your ignition key, stick it in the keyhole, turn it a quarter of a turn. Hopefully that's supposed to reset our alarm system. If not, there's another way that a forum member explained to me on how to reset that, as well as program our key fob. So that's what we're going to try and do today, as well as I'm going to show you how we installed and removed our e-brake handle and our shifter knob. And hopefully we can get to a little bit more interior pieces as well today and see what we can do from there. Hopefully you liked today's video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. So on our 2000 Dodge Viper GTS, here's the center console. You press these two side buttons, pull that down. Inside your glove box, you will see that keyhole. That right there is where we're going to be taking our ignition key, installing it like so, and turning it a quarter of a turn and seeing if that successfully turns off our anti-theft system. So now we're going to remove this center bezel piece. You can see where it's been cracked when I guess they took the CD player out. So I mean, it's already tore up, so I'm not really too worried about it as much. So go ahead and pull this up. And you're going to want to disconnect the switches. So you're going to want to disconnect all the switches that are at the back. You just push in on the tab and kind of pull, work your way back. Just go slow, that way you don't pop your hand or slip and bust a knuckle. There's one. Try not to do that. And then you're also going to want to unplug the cigarette or power light, however you want to do. Pull that out, and then this is just a push tab that you want to undo as well. Push down and pull. Clip on it. It's supposed to have two. That clip up here. And that's what pops and holds it into place. And it looks like they put Velcro on the bottom to hold it in place. So, out with the old. So now that I have the center bezel piece removed from the clips and Velcro, I guess is what they had on here, I'm going to be removing this armrest piece, center piece. Mine did not come with it, which kind of sucks, but there are 4 screws, one there, back here, there's one there, and one on the opposite side over here. Once you take those out, you should be able to maneuver this piece off and out of the way, just like that. Now we have access to our e-brake handle and our shifter knob. So let's dive into getting these replaced. So we got a 13 socket. We're gonna take this off. Looks to be for like grounding. And then there's 3 nuts, 1, 2, and 3 to take this off. And then we'll have to unscrew this out of this bracket so that way we can unhook the cable and remove this to install our new e-brake handle. Let's keep going. Voila! Took a little bit of finesse, but she's out. Very dirty. All right. And that's how you install e-brake handle on a 2000 Dodge Viper GTS. It's pretty simple. Like I was stating previously, 3 13mm nuts. 13mm nut, you can take this off, but all you really have to do is unclip these 2. This just made it easier for me to be able to move this wire right here. You have to unhook the back lines from the e-brake part, and then basically the reverse of that, hook these in, pull the cable, tighten these 3 nuts back down, tighten that down if you take it off, you don't have to, and then plug these back in. Good to go. Tension feels good. So there we go. Okay, so we've installed the e-brake, brand new e-brake handle. Now we're going to install the new shifter knob. Yuck. That's just awful. go. E-brake boot. And then I'm just going to barely put this on because I thought I had the shifter boot, but I don't. I just have another style version of the e-brake boot. So I'm going to get online right now and order the shifter boot so that way I can get this installed. Our new center bezel, which has brand new switches. We're going to try and see if we can get the window regulator motor to work. We did install this we did try and install this earlier with the door panel on. I was unable to find the connection. I was able to finally find it, had to take the door panel completely off, found the connection, and went ahead and plugged it in. Everything's working, door handle's working perfectly, locks are working correctly. Now I just need to see if the window regulator works. If not, then I need to see possibly what's going on with it. Let's go ahead and see if it's working. Nope, we do not have power going to the window regulator. I'm going to test to see if I hook direct power to the window regulator motor, if it will go up or not. If it doesn't, we will be replacing the window regulator motor. If it does, it goes up, then great. We just have to figure out what the issue is. So basically we did the test that the book suggested as far as putting power to the motor directly from a battery. We did both positive, negative. If it was all the way down, then we flipped the wires to see if it would go up. Nothing. Even hooked up a separate plug to the window regulator motor and nothing. So everything else looks good, wiring all looks good, switches are brand new, so more than likely, 99.9%, this window regulator motor's got to come out. I have to order one, don't know how long it'll take, so I'm going to go ahead and just put on the door panel as well as the door handle, just so that way we have everything kind of assembled and it's out of the way for the time being until we get to the window regulator motor. And then yeah, so we're pretty much wrapped up with this door. We kind of know what's going on, which is kind of good. It sucks, got to get another part, but hey, that's what happens when you rebuild cars. This is our Dodge Viper OEM original CD player. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the car and kind of just possibly put up our brand new center bezel into the car as well. Although we are still waiting on our shifter boot to come in. All that this requires is 2 Phillips screws to install, and of course you hook up the appropriate wiring harness and your antenna cable wire and speaker wire, all of that, to the back of the radio, and then slide it into the space provided, and go ahead and 2 Phillips screws hold it in place, and you're good to go on this. All right, CD player is now in. All right. So basically, when I was installing the e-brake handle and removing the shifter knob to install new shifter knob, new e-brake handle, new boots, etc., etc. So the first thing that I pulled off was the center bezel. Center bezel is held on by a bunch of push-in retaining clips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them. And then there's some Velcro at the very bottom that Velcro on to the very bottom part of this. So you got to be careful when installing and removing this, so that way you don't break it. So basically, you saw on earlier, that's how you remove it. To install it, you just basically do the same thing. Plug this in, screw the cigarette lighter together, plug in these 3 plugs, and go ahead and install it and press the clips down. I'm not going to do that right this minute because we are waiting on our shifter boot, as well as a new rubber shifter boot. You can see ours has been pretty much torn to bits. So we're going to be removing these and installing these as well. They're held on by 8 rivets that we're going to have to drill out and probably replace them with some push tabs and go forward from there. But anyways, that's kind of where I wanted to stop as far as installation on the interior pieces. I'm gonna jump back into seeing if we can get the engine turned over and running with correct adequate fuel pressure. I did try the keyhole, reset that's in the center console. As you saw, it did not work. So now we're going to try a different method that a Viper forum member suggested, and hopefully we can get this going. So basically what I'm going to try and do is ground out the RKE module program enable area on the Dodge Viper to put this in a programming mode, so that way I can program this key fob. Now whenever I get the other key fob in, I did order 2, only 1 came in, I will have to do this process again. But for the time being, that's what we're going to do.